Hey, folks. Thanks for joining. Thank you very much. I'm watching gold here again, flirting with a potential pullback. We're still up over 1%. So, for those that are new to the private members inner circle, basically, this time is your time. I do a lot of talking on the open forum, and I still do a lot of talking here because I'm the only one on the microphone. But I like to listen to what you guys are looking for me to talk about. If you have symbols that you want me to review, I'm here for you. This time is dedicated to your wants and needs. So I spend as much time as necessary to help everyone out. So hopefully somebody has a couple of questions for me to review. And I'll even talk about some of the stocks we're watching into the new trading week. But I'm just absolutely mesmerized by gold right now. And it's pulling back. Okay, so I'm going to see how the dollar is doing. The dollar's rallied back off the lows. This is a 5-minute chart, though. Let's take a look at Bitcoin reversed on Friday to close up. And I'm wondering whether or not Bitcoin is finally getting some sort of a safe haven play type of respect. So it's going to be interesting because Bitcoin has been stuck in this range for a while now. And it looks as though we're flirting with a new weekly high here. And we're looking for a breakout above this upper band of resistance. And for those folks just joining and who are new to the members in a circle, my time is your time. It's open mic night. Whatever you want me to review, just pop it into the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to review the symbols for you. And we'll spend as much time as necessary to go over what you'd like to talk about. See how crude is doing. Crude is still holding that bid, man. It's pulled back nicely. It looks like we're going to see a continuation move higher here this evening on oil. We didn't go over silver. Yeah, look at silver getting annihilated now. They gapped it up higher. Now it's pulling back hard. Let's see. Here's our gold. See how that's doing again. Barun, hey. How you doing, brother? Okay. The strategy is this. USLV, not all that much of until we get a pullback. Hey, Patrick. Colton, hey. Any possible trade? XOK, we'll check it out for you, pal. You got it. USOV, not all that much. It's not a huge position. I'm just looking to add more and a good risk reward entry point. I guess the same holds true for Nugget, but the thing with Nugget is that it's optionable, right? So, Arthur brought up a good point earlier. You do have the time decay, and one of the things that I've used to fight off that time decay is selling premium, and that allows me to stay longer in the trade, and plus generate some income. So that will continue to be a strategy. If I sell a strike, it probably won't be for that much. let's go to NUGT. Here we go. All right, so in terms of call selling, if they do gap it up again tomorrow, I'll be looking to sell yet again the 37 strike, because I believe that in all probability, this evening's rally is not going to hold. And I'm going to bring up a chart as well of gold intraday, just to show you how it went out and why. And I should have done this earlier because I wasn't articulating what was in the back of my head. Because if you look at gold on an intraday basis, gold left the day on a 2-hour basis with RSI at 86. And it was already up and into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. So now what are they doing? Not only they did not allow it to pull back, but they actually just jacked it up even higher up and through it. There's going to be a nasty sell-off. It's going to be horrible. So I think the ultimate outcome here, the reason why I'm staying so close to the money with NUGT is because I think that we pull back first before we proceed forward. I've been of that mind for a couple of weeks now, and I'm really not changing. And where I want to add more is 32 to 32.50 at a bare minimum. I would add more at. Ideally, below that mark, I would be buying hand over fist. So that's the strategy moving into next week. Perhaps if we do get the pullback, it doesn't go all the way back down to where we want it to, start selling some premium, perhaps at the 30 strike, 31 strike. If we get hit, great, we're happy, right? If we have the shares assigned to us. But if worse comes to worse, all we're doing is to generate more income, just as we did last week. Me too. Me too. Oh, I didn't know that. Arch Son is a big follower of Bitcoin, and he follows it too? Cool. Yeah, I've decided to do a lot more of it in 2020, analysis of it, because it's the future, and you can't ignore it. XLK, you want to know about technology. This is a difficult environment for technology. Let's go to my... I mean, the chart still looks good. It's certainly not broken yet. MACD histogram is flat topped. So we're making new weekly highs. Not much change in terms of MACD, and volume is just absolutely horrific. And I don't even just mean the individual candlestick. I'm talking about the trend is just down. So I couldn't buy XLK. Not now anyway. We have a breakdown in RSI. We broke down to a lower low. On volume, big volume. 4-hour chart. Yeah, what we're looking at right now, Barun, it was a Barun that asked this, or it was Colton. What we're looking at right now, Colton, is pretty much a topping action, a topping pattern. We're rounding the top out here on an intraday basis. They tried to rally it back. Then you had a reversal bar at the back half of the day. Now you have the markets that are down in the pre-market. Take note of the lower highs here on Ultimate Oscillator. big volume into the close. I would avoid beta. Beta in technology, I would avoid it. You're welcome, Colton. Anybody have anything else? I was looking at LABU as a trade. We bounced off of support last week, and I'm looking for a setup. There's a setup on a 2-hour basis, consolidating nicely. So we may do a short-term trade here, very short-term. This is a 2-hour breakout. 2-hour breakout. And honestly, I don't think that the selling is done here. Because when you take a look at a 4-hour chart, there's better support down here. And this resistance level, where we have our alert set right now, just may be a stepping stone, meaning a short covering rally up and into resistance. Then it's going to cause a resumption of the move lower here. And if we get down to $53 per share, then it gets interesting. And another stock I'm looking at is a potential short. Is this sucker here. We have RSI on a daily basis at 91.47. And in all probability, they're going to continue it higher because there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but I respect it. The price action is speaking volumes here. The volume is speaking volumes. On a down day for the markets, the stock just continued higher. It didn't care. So if it doesn't care, I care a lot. So we'll be doing a deep dive. I don't think there's any overhead supply here either. Let's check that out. No. So we have clear blue skies, and that current, we closed out the month last month out and above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We are currently up and into it as well on a monthly basis, weekly chart. RSI 84.14. Very extended. Closed out the week near the highs though. Needs to be respected. Volume, it picked up versus the prior week, but it was about average. It wasn't great. And what I like to do is I use the MACD histograms, at least on a daily basis, quite a bit when I'm looking to short a trade. And you can see we're losing momentum here. And when you have ADX, this ADX signal line trading above 70, a number above 60, 65 is considered overbought. We're well above that mark now. We're at 74.72. So the end is near for these shares. And there are times I'll bring up on balance volume, looking for a double bottom setup, a double top, in this case, a double top. We don't have that here. Intraday chart, Colton, Mr. D by 15 of the IWC at 98.25, not sure. Hold to close. We'll go to that chart in a moment, Colton, for you, okay? No doubt. Yeah, look at this. 2-hour basis. No respect for the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. This stock is going to get clubbed. Let's see if this is optionable. As a matter of fact, it'll tell me here. I don't know how liquid the options are though. This mouse is driving me utterly crazy. This is one of the very few circumstances where I would sell a naked put. They have options. So this is very attractive to me. The only reason why I may not go with a naked put is that I don't have overhead resistance above. That unknown scares me. So this is one that we're looking as a short this coming week. Hopefully it goes higher. Okay, IWC. Let's go through, do what we typically do. All right, so I can only speak from the perspective of me. I cannot give financial advice. So that being obviously the known, what would I do? Your basis cost is 15 of IWC, 15 shares, hopefully not contracts. Not sure. 28.25. You just bought these, I guess? Where are my micros? I know I have them. Here we go. So we had a beautiful breakout last month and a close above the pivot point. No continuation move higher this month. Okay. So you're in a 98.25. I mean, you're close to the fire here. Honestly, with that type of basis clause, I would probably use a stop loss on a new weekly low. And if we gap down tomorrow morning, I would give it a little bit of room. I mean, you closed out the day with a profit, right? Let's see whether or not we get a reversal off the lows of the day, and then at the close, make the decision as to whether or not you want to bail on the position. Watch the volume and watch where we close. If we close lower and we close at the lows of the day, me personally, I would exit the trade. If we reverse to close higher on the day, well, then that monthly chart I start to think about again. Maybe that's a good breakout, and I should stay long here with the Federal Reserve having our back. And is this talk of war with Iran just that talk at current? And it'll fade very, very quickly. People don't realize when they're in the midst of things, but these things fade very, very quickly. So at least in the eyes of the market. Let's go to a daily chart. Overall, not a horrible day on Friday. I mean, look at this volume. It wasn't bad volume on Friday. I'm reluctant to say go selling your position. Let's check out the futures. Let's take a look at the Russell, see how it's doing. We've rallied back some. We have a gap that opened up. They're going to want to fill that. If they rally up to fill this gap, let's bring up the IWC. What was the low here? Yeah, this is acting as resistance now. If we, this is the low of the third. The third. Yeah. If they move it down below 98.10, I would look to exit the trade on a rally back to fill that gap. I mean, right now you're kind of like playing with fire. You arrived a little bit too late to the party on this one, and you want to preserve your capital. Let's go back to the Russell. It's rallied back. You're seeing a little bit of petering here. So I would stick with how we close on Monday. If we close near the lows of the day, I would exit the trade. It's just not working. If it closes down on volume, it closes near the lows of the day, I personally would exit the trade. You're welcome, Colton. CRWD, okay. Interesting. All right, so the first thing that jumps out at me is that we have a higher low. Sorry, folks. This is bizarre what's going on right now. Okay, so we broke out. Last week we did a retest of the support level. But what's really important is a rally we close right at it. This resistance level here. We have a higher low. Very pretty setup. That's a weekly view. Very pretty. On volume pretty. On volume pretty is always good. Daily chart. All right, so I'm a bit torn here. I'm going to give you the negatives. I'm going to give you the positives. Because ultimately it's the market that's going to dictate. Not some dude with a crayon. All right, so let's go with you're killing me here tonight. Let's go with the negative first. Possible head and shoulders setup here. Nothing to trade off of, just something to keep in the back of our minds. Here's the positives. We broke out last week. So the risk reward here is very, very good. If you buy it and, if you buy it, you put a stop right below last week's lows or last Friday's lows, and you're out with a small loss. If it appears poised to close there, I would stop out. And if you get a continuation move higher, I think that you have a lot more upside potential here for the share. So I like the setup here. The head and shoulders setup potential, yeah, but we broke out last week. Makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about the trade. We'll keep an eye on it. RSI is looking good. Higher lows. Closed out above 50 last week. Amazing volume. It looks good. Look at 1 hour gold. Okay. You don't have to ask me twice tonight. It's trying to consolidate there. This is a half-hour view. I bet you Nikola breaks. Meaning breaks this support level. It may rally. I think it goes to a higher low. Oh, excuse me. I think it rallies, goes to a lower high, and then breaks. And we close down below on a half-hour, hourly basis below this lower band of support. You're going to see the shorts lean into this thing like you haven't seen it before. So I think this is being manipulated like hell on the COMEX right now. A lot of paper gold out there. Yeah, the euro. Let's go check that out. Yep. This is a half-hour chart outside reversal bar. Bullish. Very nice. Yeah, we're going to probably break out here. And if this breaks out, you're going to see the dollar tank. And if that happens, it may take me a little bit longer to get my sell-off on gold. We'll see. But the chart, you're right, Patrick, looking good. What else do we have? Let's go back to the Russell for Colton. See how it's holding up. So 4-hour chart, Colton. You have a reversal bar on a 4-hour basis, assuming that we close here. Let the morning drama die off, just like it did on Friday. Just allow it to die off. Don't get wrapped up in the headlines and all that ridiculousness. I mean, have we seen a new headline here? Rand's deep trust of America is rooted, yada, yada, yada. This is gold to me. Every time I see it, it's gold. No new news. We may get a reversal back tomorrow on the indexes and some disappointment in commodities. I was looking at GNL, pays a great difference. Okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to point out here, Pat, is we have some topping tails above. Wow, look at that yield, huh? 8 spots, 6.4. Very nice. This is a 2-hour chart. So a 2-hour base, I don't know what I'm doing on a 2-hour chart, but just take note, we have resistance above here. A lot of topping action. So if you're looking for an entry point, where we closed on Friday is not it. Let's go high level here. So you get it at a better price anyway. Let it pull back. Unless you're going to do a dividend capture. The monthly chart looks very, very good. Well, you had to be an owner by ex-dividend date, so you couldn't get it anyway, right? So the monthly chart looks very, very nice here. Breaking out of a very, very sound base. Weekly. Very nice, but again, we're at resistance here. I'd probably wait for that dividend to come off and then look to buy it afterwards. Let's show dividends. Yep. My God. Doesn't give you the dividend pay date though. Oh, maybe it does. Here. Yeah, right here. You may or may not get a pullback. There's no exact correlation between the pullback and the share price. But overall, I think I like it, Patrick. I think it's going to probably break out, and heck, it pays a dividend. So yeah, it looks good. But just wait for that pullback or a breakout, one of the two. Okay. Anybody have anything else? All right. I'll wait for that delay to run through there. You're welcome, Barun. Oh, that's always good. Software to fight cybercrimes? Well, we're going to need that. You're good? All right, Pat. All right, Colton. Guys, thanks for joining in. And everyone have a great night, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Yeah, I don't plan on doing the swing trading today, tomorrow morning. If something happens overnight, I'll definitely be on. You're welcome, John. Thanks for being here. Barun, same to you. If something happens overnight, I'll do swing trading today because I need to. So I'll be there, okay? Everybody have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow, maybe, but I'll definitely do market wrap if I don't speak to you tomorrow morning. Have a great night. Be well. And where is... Do, 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 do.